Jersey. Let's go.
What's up?
Jersey, what's good?
I'm good, bro. I'm chilling. You know what I mean? What's up?
All right. Last time I spoke to you, sir, we was having conversations where you're going to advance to the second round, and you did do that. Let me ask you a question. How do you feel about the battle itself?
I think the battle was fire. I think I'm really happy that Stumbles took advantage of the opportunity. You know what I mean? He made an impression, and that's the most he was going to get out of it, because I wasn't going to let him win. You know what I mean? Like, but shout out to him. I'm very happy that he did that. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, you know, now people want to see him. And people don't know how fire Stumbles is because they only know him for certain situations and shit. But me, while I'm preparing for him and I'm going through his footage, I'm like, yo, he's crazy. Like, he could, if he gets his shit together, like, this could be something. Obviously, before the battle, I can't say that. But, like, now, like, I became a fan of him while preparing for him. You know what I mean? Yeah, so it's one of those things, because I didn't really watch. I seen him in the tournament, but I didn't see, like, you know, him and Easy or him and Murder, and he had some shit on YouTube that was fire. You know what I mean? I was like, yo, he's fire, bro. Like, so I knew that his style was gonna translate. I was just trying to do my part of putting the pressure of the stage on him, and, you know, everything else that I got, and making sure that all the shit I learned over the last year, that I'm incorporating it now. I know how to land a punch now. You know what I mean? I'm not just up there rapping like I used to. I know how to get to the part and then land that bitch. You know what I mean? Like, I know how to do that now. I know how to feed off the crowd. I'm doing mid-round rebuttals and freestyles, and, you know what I mean? Like, I'm moving around. All the stage tricks that I learned from battling, you know, Pat Stay, DNA, Av, like, when I was on the stage, you know what I mean? And the vet tricks from them, like, I'm learning all that shit, you know what I mean? So now I'm just applying it.
So before we get into the bars right quick and everything, let me ask you this. So do you feel like you said, you weren't surprised, I guess, that Stumbles are getting the oohs and ahs from the crowd and the judges and everything. So you're not shocked at it at all, right? You're probably thinking, I'm ahead of the curve than the rest of y'all, because you said that you were rocking with his material. Well, the bars that you heard prior.
He had some fire shit. I wasn't shocked at all.
Okay.
But another thing you got to realize that's happening in the footage, and you're seeing it in real time, is people are shocked. It's the shock factor. It's nobody expected this to be like anything good to come from his side. You know what I mean? And now that he had some fire shit, people are like, oh shit, like, he's rapping like, you know what I mean? Like, that shock factor is a real thing. I know I experienced it when I first came in. You know what I mean? Like, I know shock factor is a real thing. So I'm only pointing that out because the first time you watch it isn't gonna be the same as when you watch it again and again and again.
Right.
You know, the first time shock is gonna be like, oh shit, was that a close battle? But in my opinion, when you watch it back, that he wasn't doing nothing with that second or third. You know what I mean? In my opinion.
So stay with me right quick. Stay with me. So I want to go in the first round real quick, though.
Yeah.
In the first round, obviously, you had a lot of stumble flips, right?
Right.
Would you say your first, if you had to go your lightest round, would you say the first one was your lightest? Can we say that?
Very, very strategic, 3. I'm very strategic. So I know he's going to show out. People are going to be shocked that he's dope. You know what I mean? I'm not expecting him to stumble in the first. That was, in my head, I kind of pictured going second, but it was all right that I went first. But at the same time, I pictured him stumbling in the second. After, like, that's when I'm like, all right, he's going to stumble in that. That's the round he's going to stumble in. So in my first, and again, this is just me predicting from experience, you know what I mean? Or like, you know, the kind of pressure that I was planning to put on him and shit like that. But that first is good, but it's meant to not be the best. It's a tournament. You're supposed to go up. You're supposed to have moments in your later rounds. You know what I mean? There's a strategy to it. There's not like, and I shouldn't talk too much on the strategy, but there's a way that you're supposed to do it. So yes, that was strategic.
Here's what I thought, and correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, we say the first might be the lightest, but I thought your first round you went into a bag of performance.
Yeah, it was performative. It was yeah, it was the shaking the cobwebs off. That's what it was. It was like, it was the warm up. It was the first battle of the night.
Right.
You know, I thought we were gonna be first to second anyway. You know what I mean? So it's kind of warming the crowd up. Like it's all of that. It's an introductory round. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's the round that in my head is like, yo, this is the round he's gonna shock people. So my next round is the round that I gotta remind him who the fuck I am. You know what I mean? And show the difference between me and Stumbles. You know what I mean? So the first, that's how I planned it, at least.
It's mind-boggling hearing battle rappers how you guys strategically write your material and the mind process that you guys are maniacs. I'm sorry, brother. For you to say, okay, his first round I'm expecting this, so I'm gonna do, like, it's crazy to have that. Like, where does that, obviously that comes from getting a lot of battles under your belt, right? And learning and being a student of the game, right?
Yeah, experience, bro. It's experience, but it's also like it's kind of like it's just educated guessing. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, like people could shock the world and do something they wouldn't normally do. You know what I mean? But
Right.
exactly what happened is kind of what I expected to happen. You know what I mean? I expected him to have lines that was fire. I expected him to translate well on the stage, and I expected the pressure of the stage to get to him. I expected that the pressure of my rounds, my aggressiveness, my performance, all of that shit. You know what I mean? Like it was. Yeah, I'm very strategic in general, but now that I got more experience, I'm able to, you know what I mean, like make make more of an educated guess on what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying?
When you write a line, when you do a bar like the sneaker slide on the court line, like you write, when you write that bar that comes to your brain, are you sitting there like, ah? And when you know it's gonna hit the room, is it a combination of both when you write it and then when you perform it, you know what it's gonna do?
It's making I get that reaction when I think of the idea. Now, having an idea is only half the battle. You know what I mean? You got to bring that to life. So wherever I got that idea from, whether I heard dogs barking and it sounded like sneakers or other way around, or whatever I heard that might have sparked that idea, that I'm like, I got to bring this to life. So first, you know, I got to make sure I do the sound effects. Because the original version of the line was just a line. There was no sound effects on it. Now I'm like, I could bring it to life if I put the little dog barking sound effect in it. You know what I mean? Like, you got to kind of workshop all your ideas. Like, having an idea to bringing it to life, that whole process is a crazy process. You know what I mean? Like,
Does that also come when you're doing the sound effect? Does that come from you going over the bars over and over again, and then after a while, that just the ad lib just hits you so much? Is that how it works?
That it's, you know what I mean? You're trying to make the line, because the truth of the matter with all your lines is this, right?
Okay.
You thought about them more than the crowd thought about them, right? You, like, way more. The crowd is hearing it for the first time. And you want the crowd to have that same reaction that you had when you thought of the shit, right? So it's like, all right, what's the best way? I know my mind might be a little different than like people's, like normal people just walking through life. They're not rappers. Rappers got different minds, you know what I mean? So like, my mind might be a little different. So how can I make this thought translate the first time you hear it? You know what I mean? So it's just shit like that. Like you said, being repetitive, going over it over again. You know what I mean? Like shit like that.
Your second round was phenomenal, my G. I'm not even gonna lie to you. That second round, them stumble flips, the Young Thug YSL line, you had the gat talk with the wordplay on everything like that. Yo, the 2-minute thing might work for you, man, because everyone says, like I told you, you throw like 70 words in 2 minutes. So, you know what I'm saying? Do you think that's gonna work for you moving on as the? tournament continues?
I'm trying to figure out how to word this without, like, you know what I mean, revealing anything or giving something away. There's a strategy to everything, three. There's a strategy to everything. So even though, yeah, I might be able to get more words off than a normal rapper might, there's a balance. You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't want to speed through your shit. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of like what happened when I battled Jay the Nightwing. I had so much material, I was speeding through everything. I'm not landing the shit. You know what I mean? Like I said, that's one of the things I was focusing on, like, doing in this battle. If I got a bar, I'm going to pause for the right amount of time before I say it. You know what I mean? I'm going to let the crowd digest what's happening before I say it. Like, all these different things that I learned, I'm going to land this shit.
Right.
So that's the, sometimes if you're rapping too fast, that could be lost. You know what I mean? So, like, you got to find a balance.
Okay. How much did you leave out? Did you leave out any material against Stumbles?
A couple, like, ideas here and there. I had some in the tuck just in case I had to maybe respond to something or switch something around. I didn't know if he was going to show up with the belt, you know what I mean? So I had, like, something for that. I was every possible outcome that I could think of leading up to the battle. I had something for that, and that's why I never say I'm finished until the day of the battle, because that none line happened while I'm going over my material. I'm going over it, and then I'm like, oh shit, they just robbed none yesterday, and then, like, that ties into the judges and then the belt. And then I'm talking about the judges being changed because of what he did to Tony, bro, and the belt, and then him rob. I'm like, yo, that's a perfect connection. You know what I mean? Like, and that happened, like, before, almost like right before I went on stage. I was like, oh shit, because I think I was listening to the stream and they were talking about none, something like that. Something happened, and I came up with that. But I forgot the question that you said. My bad. I kept rambling. What you said?
No, you're not rambling at all. What is it about day 2 battles that are being better than day 1 battles? I noticed in Kings and Queens, day 2 was better than day 1, and Ultimate Advantage 2, day 2 was better than day 1. Why do you think that coincidence? That's just, am I reaching with that, or?
Nah, that's like, how do I say it? It's like kind of testing the water before going in. It's that little dip you do with your foot before you jump in the pool. You know what I mean? Like, that's what that is, because now I got a whole day. I'm at the venue, right? And when I say I mean a battle rapper, everybody that's performing day 2. I'm watching the crowd. I'm watching what they're reacting to. I'm looking at the setting. I'm looking at the cameraman. I'm looking at how Smack's introducing the shit. I'm looking at how they're keeping time. You know what I mean? I'm looking at, Surf and Jay Black and all of them rush to the stage, and then right when the battle done, they rush to the announcing. Like, you keeping every detail in mind, so now you know what to expect more. Because usually, if it's just one day of battles, you're just showing up to the venue. You don't see the venue till you're there. You just show up and it's packed, you know what I mean? And you got to make your way through everybody and get to the section and then wait for your turn to go on. It's not really like your only, like, test is if you don't rap first, because then you get to see other people rap and how the crowd's reacting and shit like that. But day 2 battles, yeah, everybody's, like, warmed up. That's probably what it is. You know what I mean?
You and Fonz, brother.
Finally. It's going to be
this 2 minutes, I need an extra minute, man. I don't like this 2-minute thing at all. I think it's terrible. I think it's
what? The 2 minutes is probably better for the content you're gonna get. You know what I mean? Because I know for me, I could come up with 9 minutes. I don't know if everybody else can. You know what I mean? So, like,
sir, with your flow pattern, and you can go into the wordplay. You're a cheat code, sir. You can go in the pocket. Let's speed. You know what I mean? Let's just. I'm just saying, sir. No, but you and Fonz, I think it's gonna be crazy.
I think it's gonna be crazy too. There's something about our class, which I think when it's all said and done, our class is gonna be the best class
Of what?
ever
Of what?
of all time.
No, sir. No.
When it's all said and done,
No, sir.
not right now. Not right now. I'm saying
Y'all
in
never gonna be better than JC Chiller. No.
that's a fire
Never in
class.
life. I love y'all
But look,
brothers.
but look, our class has a lot of intangibles that show that potential. You know what I'm saying? Because we got every kind of rapper in there. Everybody raps different. Everybody got their own style in our class. Everybody's from different regions. You know what I mean? Like there's so many different things in our class that you got performers, lyricists, you got writers, you got every kind of rapper in our class too. So what I'm saying is not right now. It's only been 2 years. All right. But in like 5 years, let's see where me, Easy, Fonz, Lou Castro, Kid Chaos, let's see where we all are in 5 years. I think it'll be very apparent by then.
I'm not, without saying names, some of them dudes you named off, they gotta get their weight up. They gotta get their weight up. I'm not saying no names. They gotta get their weight up.
Listen,
They weight up.
even if so, I'm saying 5 years. Let's give it 5 years. Let's give it 5 years. You know what I mean? We got a good
Like,
amount of
paper be magic. What? Yo, fam, you better be magic. You know what it is. That crash of magic. You're sick. Stop playing with me, man. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me, man.
my point that I was trying to get to. With all of us are mad competitive, so I know everybody from my class that I didn't battle. If I battle them in the future, like Easy, Lou Castro, I was thinking this with Fonz, Swamp. If I battle anybody from my class, it's gonna be more competitive than I think when we battle other people, just because in my experience, when I battled the people from my class, it was like me and Jada Nightwing was crazy. Me and Kid Chaos was crazy. I think there's just a competitiveness there that's like gonna make the battles be crazy. So yeah, Fonz is gonna go crazy, but I'm gonna go crazy too. You know what I mean? And may the best man win.
Have you started writing? Obviously started writing, obviously, right? How far are you?
You have to. I don't know. You always ask these questions, 3, right? And it's like you you can't reveal where you are. Because no, I know you're just asking because like you just want to know because you're curious.
Yes.
But this anything can happen if your opponent is watching and give him an idea.
Right.
I'm not trying to add extra motivation. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to do none of that.
Got you. Let me ask you this. What do you think about Disaster and Crooked Eye?
Woo! What? That's crazy. You know Crook is my favorite. Like Crook is one of my biggest influences when it comes to rapping. And I think this grind time environment is going to be very friendly to him. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's probably the best environment for him to come back. But I also think, man, Crook, out of everybody in Slaughterhouse, I always thought Crook was the one that would do best in the battle arena. You know what I mean? Like,
over Podcast Joe, right?
Over Joe, over Royce. I thought Crook, because Crook had those kind of like he could be very entertaining in the ring because he could rap in any kind of way. You know what I mean? And if you listen to like that acapella Shady Cypher that he did, like remember that shit? Like
smoked it.
Some of that shit would go crazy in a battle. You know what I mean? So like, and that's the kind of shit Disaster also raps like that too. You know what I mean? So I think that battle's gonna be crazy. I hope Crook translates. You know what I mean? Because we just want to see a good battle. But Disaster's a veteran. Disaster's been here a bunch of times. You have to pick a winner. You have to pick Disaster. You know what I mean? But Disaster's one of my favorites. Crook is one of my favorites. That battle's gonna be crazy. Shout out to Disaster for always, every couple years, doing something that shifts the culture, man. I feel like he doesn't get respect all the time. Maybe it's because he hasn't had enough battles on URL or something. But like, yeah, every couple years he does something that shakes shit up. You know what I mean? So shout out to Diz.
Is that on your bucket list? Is that on your bucket list? Disaster?
Everybody that's like my favorite is on my bucket list. Disaster's on my bucket list. K-Shine, Daylight. Who else? You know what's crazy? Arsenal and Pat Stay were on my bucket list, and I got to battle them. That's amazing. You know what I mean? Like all the best. You know what I mean? But those are like my favorites.
Magic. So you a fan of Magic?
Yeah, and Magic. Yep. So that's crazy. Magic, Pat, and Ars were on like my bucket list of people I wanted to battle. And I got to battle them already, which is crazy. So other people on that list, like I said, I'm trying to think who else. I'd want to battle Rock. And Pass would be crazy. I think me and Pass would be a crazy battle. That's all I could think of right now. But
Right.
you know what I mean?
I can see you getting a battle over there at GTX though.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it would have to make sense, and it would have to be like,
you a disaster.
Yeah, I'd be down for that. I don't. It's kind of up to him to like, you know what I mean? Like, if he wants to do that, he's kind of like, I'm good building a legacy the way that I'm doing it, and I'd love to have that battle, but you know what I mean? He's the owner. He got to make that shit happen.
Is it too early, or you might get Jonage, my guy?
Nah, that's not gonna happen. 3. Like, you could make a top 5 out of my last year and a half, dog. Like, I battled some vets. Trilogy, B Magic, Danny Myers, Arsenal, Av, Pat Stay, DNA, JC. Like, come on, you can make a top 5 out of that shit. I stood in front.
Nice resume, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Hey there, King. I ain't gonna hold you.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, there's I definitely have more experience than Jonah had at the time. And I think I'd inspire Disaster to write some ill shit. You know what I mean? So
can you elaborate on that, sir? Don't say that and just say that bar and just at the back door.
Disaster, like, from what I know, not even Disaster, all these top tier guys that have been around for 10 years, that are writers, they want to be able to write or battle a kind of rapper that they've never like battled before. You know what I mean? And you know, Disaster's very into culture and all, you know what I mean? So he'd probably deep dive on my culture and all that, you know what I mean? Have an ill sound about it. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's what I mean. It would be interesting. I don't think he's ever battled a Sikh before. And he's very, you know, cultured, like his knowledge and culture is very high, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, he's battled in, he battled in Lebanon, Russia, UK, Philippines. Like, he's battled everywhere. So, yeah.
Talk about being outside, Sikh. Disaster been outside.
There's outside, and then there's around the world.
Yeah, around the world, like Disaster, yo. I ain't gonna hold you, man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to you and Sikh, man. I'm looking forward to seeing this battle a lot, man. I'm seeing what brothers translate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you mean me and Fonz. You said me and Sikh. You mean me and Fonz.
Part of stuff.
No, I think, yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. You know what I mean? Like, this is another battle that, like I said, everybody in our class got to battle each other eventually, I think. So this is one of them ones that I wish it was more of a moment. You know what I mean? I feel like, when I battle people from my class, like, every time that's happened, it was like a moment. Me and Jay started this whole Ultimate Madness shit off. You know what I mean? Chaos was the 2 guys that got eliminated that they didn't want to see get eliminated. We come back, we have a crazy battle. We got a message at the end of it. You know what I mean? Like, that was crazy. So I feel like we could make moments. So, yeah, me and Fonz obviously would have been better if we had a longer time, whatever. But it's going to be crazy. I could tell already. Ain't no way I'm going to let him win, bro. I can't. I can't.
Are you like the judging system? Do you prefer day 2 judging compared to
Day 2? day two judging was way better than day one judging. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate that you know, they didn't completely have it the first day. But again, this is a learning process for the judges too. You know
Why
what I mean?
the learning process, sir, when your peers have said for years, brothers like myself, who don't write bars, we don't count. We leave it to the hands of the battle rappers to be the judges, the juries, and the ones that's gonna call who won the battle. This is what y'all wanted, sir.
Yeah. I'm not saying they were wrong because they stayed firm in their decisions, right? I didn't hear anybody retract their statements. It's just they grade different shit than the fans. When I say it's a learning process, I mean explaining why they feel like somebody won. Like Cal said, like I could have said Sikh won without explaining all that shit, right? Battle rappers judge shit in a rapper's opinion, in my opinion, they judge shit more accurately because they know what the people are doing. You know what I mean? They can see what went into that bar. They can see the breath control. They can see, you know what I mean, what he's talking about. Cal and John were reacting to shit, even if the crowd wasn't. That's like a true judge, in my opinion. Like, you reacting to shit that you like. You're not swayed by other people reacting and shit like that. But I think just explaining why you think somebody won and shit like that, that's probably the learning process. But like, yeah, I definitely think it's a different way of judging, but it's still it's a rap, it's a battle. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
yeah.
All right, brother. Hopefully you would like to talk next time we speak, sir. You'll be advancing to the next round. You know what I mean?
Tune in next week. Ultimate Madness round 2. It's gonna be every week. This 2-week shit ain't even 2 weeks. This means a week. This shit is really a week.
Wow.
This should feel like this. You know what I mean?
Wow. Sikh, I appreciate you, King.
I appreciate you, 3. Shout out to everybody that tuned in. Go to realsickstore.com for the merch. We got new shit coming. Shout out to everybody that's been copping. Music probably gonna drop pretty soon. Pat, stay you a fool. Why are you?
Yo, Pat, stay. What's wrong with you, son? Yo, I love Pat, man. But come on, Pat. I love Pat, yo. And I love Pat, man. That's my guy, dog. But I make no bones about it. Pat says is the only dude besides Sharon that came from King of the Dot over to URL and flourished. Out there. Yo, Pat, knock it off though, my brother. We love you. Knock it off. Pat, yo, real talk. Pat stays flourishing. King of the Dot, RBE, and URL. Every big stage, this man has flourished. Real talk. Pat, what's wrong with you though, fam? You wild. Yeah, Pat, you wild.
Shout out to Pat. Pat had my favorite first round, like my favorite round ever said against me was Pat Stay's first round. That's probably my round ever said against me. So shout out to Pat. One
of my favorite Pat Stay round, I think it was round 3. I think it was against Sharon. One of them rounds, he was spazzing on Sharon. He was spaz. I mean, literally spaz. And I rock with Sharon heavy. He was talking to Sharon like, yeah, like he had like, dog, like, yeah, Sharon. I'm like, yo, dog, I was flinging across the stage, bro. Like, you know what, sir? I don't know if you ever saw the battle with Slave Silver battle Young Cannon, and he cross surfed him. He did one of the moves, and he battled him. That's what that thing kind of did is wrong, man.
Yeah. Definitely.
I appreciate you, Sikh.
Shout out to you, 3. Be looking forward to your recap.
You're ready. You're ready. Yes, sir.
Peace.
Yes, sir. Pat Stay.